what qualifies someone for a great DIY experience versus certain things where they maybe need to GC or call a builder?
I would say that the ideal DIYer is somebody they're not afraid to get their hands dirty, and second is they're willing to learn, because there's a ton of information available to help those people. And in relationship to the DIY thing, when I first started selling post-frame building kits over 40 years ago, almost everybody thought nothing about, hey, sure, no problem. And my plans were like 3 pages of notebook paper, and there's no instructions, and people were out there putting them up.
Yep.
And I mean, it's evolved totally, where our portion of it, which is just the structural part, the building shell, our plans are specific down to, we show every piece on the building and how you connect it and how far apart they are. And we give you an almost 600-page book that basically tells you how to do anything you could possibly conceive of within our scope. But very few people are willing to truly DIY. I'm going to share a secret of why more people should think about this, though. So let's say that somebody is going to come to you or some other builder, and outside of the cost of their land, because whether you have half an acre or 400 acres, it kind of skews that. Running in your utilities, because maybe you're on public water and maybe you need a well, maybe you've got sewer, maybe you've got a septic, maybe you need to do a pretty intricate septic to make it work. Site preparation, because not all of us are on flat level sites, and some of us are on clay, and some of us are on rock, and cost of your permits. Some places, like where I live, $20, you can get a permit to build anything.
Right.
Some places, not so much. California, you buy a car for what the cost of that permit is. A nice car. It's California. So we'll leave those things out. So we'll say that your barn dominium itself, that you would pay a general contractor $300,000. We're just plucking this from the air. I'm just making up these numbers. So, okay. So if you DIY it truly, you're probably going to cut that number in half. Now, granted, you're going to, this is your job. This is what you're doing for the next 12 to 18 months. This is your job. There's a secret to this, though, is that in this scenario, the $150,000 that you didn't pay is that you didn't take out a mortgage for that other $150,000, and you didn't have to pay income tax and Social Security taxes on that $150,000 to have to pay the mortgage. So effectively, the $150,000 you saved there, if it was an instant thing, it's more like $225,000. And now you're thinking, maybe there's something to this. I grew up 3 houses down from where I grew up at. We for a long time were the last house in the neighborhood, but there was a family that lived there for about 2 years, because their dad would build a house, they'd move into it, sell the old house, and he just continued to do this every 2 years. They had a new house to move into. Well, he had figured that same thing out, and he just kept rolling that profit into their next house. They eventually ended up living in a really nice house that was free and clear. So for those people, it's a great way to go, but it's not for everyone.
Well, and I would say, to elaborate a little bit more on that, would be, we get the antithesis of this, right? We get someone who hears the cost savings of DIY barn dominiums, and when they come in to meet with us, they're, even in today, 2024, people will come in with a belief that it shouldn't cost more than $100 a square foot to hire me
Good luck.
to build this home.
Yeah, doesn't happen.
And there's so much misinformation, and I love it. Like, at the end of the day, my goal is for as many people to make their dream come true as possible. And if we're the one, like we have a saying here, and I've said it a million times, is choose us, don't use us. And we onboard clients, and we take them through design, pre-spec planning. We do everything. We select everything down to the color of the walls that is going in this house. Everything is pre-selected. We go out and do a site visit. We get all the pre-construction costs. We get all the septic, utilities, everything that's going to go into making this, from construction access to final driveway, all of those costs. And we give them a proposal. And at that point, up until that point, there's no obligation to work with us. If you sign on the dotted line, now we're your builder. Before that, we were your coach, right? We designed your plans. We helped you get all this stuff. And we even tell them, these are your plans. Go talk to other builders. Maybe we're not the right one. You've got to make the best decision for you and your family. And if we drop the ball during this process, in your opinion, we're probably going to drop it over and over again throughout the process. Please go talk to other builders. We want to earn your business, right? We want you to choose us, not just use us because we're like the only name in town. But that approach is, I love that there's an opportunity for people to DIY. I love that there's opportunities for people to hire builders all across this country. I love that there's opportunities to hire people that don't build the way I build. You know, you and I have a common friend down in Texas that builds red iron buildings.
Yeah.
But great dude, I'm satisfied that his home that he would build for you would be fantastic.
Oh, no, hey, if I wanted a red iron building and I was anywhere close to him,
yeah,
hey, not a problem. You know, it's like, you know, I know that he cares.
That's right.
And I will pay people that care.
Yep.
I mean, that's the reality of it.
But in order for everybody to win, it takes stuff like this, right? Like, you can come on here and tell people, I see it every day. I have your responses memorized by Q. And I even use them with people. Like, I've used it to my sales team to say, when someone comes to you with this DIY idea, you can use this. Send them to the website, your frequently asked questions section. Like, you know, based off today's industry specific information, this is what it would cost you to do it yourself, which means I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
This is what it would cost you to general contract this. And this is what it costs you for me to have to do it for you. And build that together, because collectively, I think we all just want to see everybody win. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Barndo Show podcast. If you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this content, hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And then be sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms at the Barndo Co. Super simple to find us. And then when you're ready to dive in a little more, maybe look around some of our available floor plan options, or take a look at the gallery of our work, or maybe you're ready to connect with our team and explore what it looks like to build your dream barndominium, you can visit us online at thebarndoco.com.